If you want to know diff clone, we are supposed to get the data from the database. It's not like how we are creating a variable. If you are getting a data from the database, then you understand the concept of diff clone. Now here I am fetching the data. Let us see. Select ID, name, phone. So what is this created date? System field. Created date is system field. Now it is taking a list. Right. Now I have fetched a record. You can take multiple records, but to show you the proper UI, I am taking a single record here. Then list of account clone list equal to acc dot clone. Now look at the data. System dot debug record from. Now I'm giving clone list. Let us see what is the execution. When you clone, what is the data that is cloned? You have cloned the data. When you clone, what is the data we are getting? Database is ACC. Clone list. Execute. So look at both the data. Actually, when you fetch the data, what is the data we fetched here? We fetched the data. When you fetch the data, account ID, name, phone, create date, you are fetching the data. Now I am applying here. I'm applying here. Go back to the next. Clone. Go to the next. List of clone list equal to acc dot clone. The same thing I'm applying here. List of account. List of account. So equal to acc dot diff clone false. I want to clone, but I don't want to clone the ID, created date, and auto number. In case if there is any auto number, I want to clone, I want a copy of it, but I don't want the ID, I don't want the created date, I don't want the auto number. So in all the cases, what we are doing, we are cloning only. In every case, what we are doing, we are cloning the data. But you are cloning the data with what? You are cloning the data with what? With IDs, without IDs. How are you cloning? Then I told. Then again I am creating this. In all the cases, what we are doing, we are cloning the data only. But what are you cloning? Exactly the same you are cloning, or you are cloning without ID, with ID? No, look at this. Now, record from database without ID. So what happened? Entire record is cloned. Name, phone number. Where is ID? Where is created date? Created date is a system field, read-only field. If in case any auto number. Second one I told clone ID but no system fields. Clone ID but no system fields. Now when you take this, what is the advantage of doing this? Now you have cloned. When you cloned, complete record came to you. When you cloned, complete record came to you. Cloned, exactly the same record we got it. Now what I want is the moment any record is created in the database, ID, name, this is a record. If I say account ACC equal to account ACC name equal to TCS, I create. Is it a new or existing record? It is a new. Why? There is no ID for it. If ID is there, what does it mean? It is an existing record. If the record has an ID, it is an existing record. Okay. Now it is a new record. Now if I insert a record, what will happen? New record will be inserted. If I insert this, new record will be inserted. If I insert this, new record will be inserted. If I insert, new record will be inserted. The same thing I am giving here. Account ACC equal to new account. Then what was this? This is not new record. This is referring to the existing record with ID 001. Now can I insert this record? You cannot insert because you cannot give an ID. You cannot insert a record with ID. If you are giving an ID, it is already existing record. What you can do is you can update. Are you getting my point? If you give an ID, it means it's already existing record. You cannot insert again. What you can do? You can only update. So I can only give update because it's not a new record. It is working on the existing record. Are you getting my point here? Are you getting my point? Now what I want to do is, it's something like this. Account ACC equal to my record dot. When you say my record dot clone, this is how we are going to get. When you say clone, exactly the same record. The same thing if I create like this. System.debug. Now, what is the value? ACC dot. If I give ACC dot ID, it's a null. So name we have Pro, and we have ID. If there is no ID, it is a new record. If I insert, this will be one more in this record in the database. Above one, it is not a new record, referring to existing record. This is what? Copy of existing record without ID. That means it's a new record. Did you get my point? You want to copy the record itself, or you want to copy without, you want to copy only data. You want to clone the data, or you want to clone the record itself. If you want to clone the record itself, true, false, false. I want to clone only data, false, false, false. When you clone, exact record will come. When you clone, exact record will come. Are you getting my point? Concept, are you clear about it? Are you clear? Are you clear? Okay, right. So this is that. Now let us go back to the next one. It's very important topic, boss. Listen carefully. It is a very important method. Which we had iterator. What is this iterator? When you say iterator, it will, you are writing you are creating a cursor. How to move the cursor from first record, second record, third record, fourth record. You are moving the cursor. You are moving the cursor. You are moving the cursor. You are moving the cursor and giving the value. Let us see this. Basically, this I will be using in batch Apex, but try to understand the concept. Slightly complex, but try to understand this. This is how we got it. Now, I'll just give you an idea. We are not going to implement right now. It has interfaces. So it has iterable. Implements iterable. When you are implementing iterable, internally it has a method called iterator. Internally it has a method called iterator. What is an iterator? Now it will create a cursor. It will create a cursor. Now we are here. When you say next, next record should come. Next record. Previous record. So what I want to do? I want to implement a functionality which will give me the next. When I say next, it has to give next. So it has two methods here. Public boolean has, this will return true or false if record is based on record is available or not. So what we are doing? if count is greater than size. Now I give what is size. Don't worry about this. It's too early to discuss this point. Just to give the idea about the method, I'm using it. Okay. Now we have here count is greater than size. If somebody says public we have an next element, return the next element. How do you return? Return names of so when you call the next, what it will do? It will give the next element. When you call has next, what it will do? When you call has next, it will check whether we have next element or not. So on the list when you call has next, it will check whether next element is there or not. When I say next, it is going to return you next element. Are you getting? So what was this? It is a cursor moving. First cursor will check. Do you have next element? Yes. Move to next. Do you have next element? Yes. Move to the next. Like that, what we are doing from first element will be moving to next. So this functionality is iterator. This functionality is what? Iterator. Basically, to implement a proper iterator, we are supposed to implement an interface. There is a iterable interface, iterable and iterator functionality is there. If you implement that, you will be getting this concept. But the theme I have given here. What is the theme? The iterator is, it will iterate through the loop. It's like a loop. Check whether we have next element. Yes, go to the next. We have next element. Yes, go to the next. So when you have a group of elements, how to navigate from first to second, second to third, like that? How to navigate? You may navigate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. You may navigate 1, 5, 10, 15 like that. You may navigate 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 like that. You may navigate 0, 10, 20, 30 like that. It is up to your choice how you want to take. You can build your logic to move the cursor from first element to next element to next element. What is next element in your concept? It's your choice. I may have 40 elements. Get me the next banking record. What is the next? Check whether industry equal to banking. Yes, get on this. No, go to next element. So what is that? Give me, I have a list of 1000 records. In these 1000 records, give me the next industry record. Give me the next industry record. Give me the next banking record. Give me the next banking record. Give me all the hot records. Check first record. No, next record. Next. That means you are building your own logic to go to next record. What is next record? Your custom logic. I want to take next record means record whose rating is hot. Next record whose rating is hot. Give me. When I click on next record whose rating is hot. When I click on next record whose rating is hot. Now if I want to go from first to second, second to third, I will use for loop. If I want to go for first to second, second to third, third to fourth, for loop is sufficient for me. No, it's not like that. Now I have a group of records. In the group of records, give me those records. Okay, when I click on next, give me the record whose lead source is web. Next record whose lead source is web. Next record whose lead source is web. That is what? You are applying your own custom logic to navigate to the next record based on your functionality. Did you get my point? If I want to go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, for loop is sufficient, right? I can write a for loop and complete it. No, I don't want to go 1, 2, 2 to 3 by default. I want to apply some logic. If that logic is true, then only I want to go to next. Are you clear? So if you want to build such type of custom logics, we'll be going for iterable. We'll be seeing this once I done with interfaces. Okay. Right? As of now, basic idea I have given. What is it? As next. Okay. Basically, we are supposed to identify iterable concept. Iterator, iterable. There are two concepts. Okay. Once you are done with that, we'll be able to see this functionality. I hope you are good with this. So basically, what is the concept? It is to move the cursor from one position to next position. Right? What is the next position? Depends upon your logic. So with this, we have done your list concept. We have done the methods in the list. Now we have how to refer to one by one record in the list. How to refer to one by one record in the list. Let us see. Listen carefully, boss. Referring to the records in the list. Now I have this. The name of the list is, let us say, names. It is a group of what type of elements? String elements. So if you want to refer for what type of elements we have? String element. String, yes. String S names. What is that S? S referring to first element. What is the names? Group of elements. When you have a group of names, S is referring to first element. When you have a group of element, S is referring to first element. Now, when I say system.debug S, what is the value we are going to get? Right now the value is, then we are going to next. What is S? Ram. Again next. Kiran. Next. Prasad. Next. Hari. Next. Then close. So what is that S is doing? S is starting with the first value in the names. Next value, next value, next value, next value, until it encounters null. There is no next value, so it is a null. Stop the operation. Are you getting my point here? Are you clear about this? So what was this? If it is a list of string, string S name. If it is a list of string, string S name. If it is a list of string, string S names. I hope you are good. I hope you are good. Okay. Same concept I am applying here once again. Look at this. It is only applied for references, not for primitive. Now I have array of accounts. I have array of accounts. One account record. I have a group of accounts. It is an array which is holding the accounts. It is an array which is holding the accounts. Group of account. Now in the group of accounts, all of them are what? List of accounts. This is a list of accounts. This is a list of accounts. This is a list of accounts. If it is a list of accounts, how to write a loop to refer to one by one? For, because it's a list of account, I have to give account A. What is the name of the list? Accounts. We are taking. Now, what does it mean? A referring to. Now, when I give system.debug A dot name, what is A dot name? A dot name is TCS. A dot phone. A dot meeting. Right? Then we have given A. Once it's completed, then A dot name Dell, A dot phone 020, A dot rating wow. Done. Go to the next. Go to the next. Go to the next. Last. Stop the operation. So what was that? When I give like this, starting from the first one, going to the next one, going to the next one, next, stop the operation. This is how we are referring to the elements in the loop. The same thing I can also do with integer I equal to 0, I is less than. This is a shortcut way of writing it. I hope you are clear with this. But this will work for what? Okay, reference. This will work for what? Reference. I hope you got my point. Clear? How to refer to one by one element in the list. Am I clear? Right. Write an example.
Sir, I have a question.
I have a question. Let me give example. 1 minute.
Sure.
Create. Okay. Refer to one by one element from the contacts and print it. Refer to one by one element from opportunity and create it. Refer to one by one element from the places and print it. Refer to one by one element from the student and print it. Do this for example. Here the yes, go ahead online. What is your query?
It will take the size like by itself, the size of the.
Now it's a cursor, amma. Cursor. So cursor keep moving until it find null.
So traversing will happen automatically to the last. Okay.
Exactly.
Also, Satish, the way we were just talking about iteration, that in order to apply custom logic for a group of records, we use iteration. I was just thinking that now in for loop, if we have a if statement that go to a record, if the rating is hot, can we do that instead of using?
For loop will be running. For loop will be taking one by one element, but I want to return the value. When you write a return statement, it will return only one value. When I say return the value, you are checking a condition. You can check a condition with the for loop, okay. But I want to return the value if it is true. I want to break the operation, return the value.
Okay.
Everyone make an attempt of writing these for loops. Yeah.
But using this for loop, we cannot restrict, like if we want the cursor to move up to until index 3 only, it will run it entire array.
See, when you're writing a loop, when you want to break it, you can break it. When you want to break it, you can break it. When you want to break it, how you break it? You have to exit. See, exiting, returning the value, you can apply it. Normal flow is beginning to ending. You want to, okay, you want to apply your custom logic on it, stop it, you can do it.
So in this case, how will it stop?
Exit, exit, or apply return, exit. Okay. Done? Everyone has done this?
Yes.
For a primitive data type like string places, the for loop will be like for I is equal to 0, or it will be like reference data type, the way you have given
I
example, like it.
I equal to 0. Now, standard way of writing is this. Right. This is the generally used format. If you want to go with the for loop, it's up to your choice, but generally we don't use this. We go with the first format only.
My question is that the first format can be used for a non-primitive, primitive data type like string.
It is only used for non-primitive.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Sir, the enhanced for loop, the first for loop,
Yes.
we can use for primitive data types too, right?
The same question she asked. This is cannot be
Oh,
used. This cannot be used for primitive.
But when I tested, it is working, sir.
On integer, it is working.
Yes, integer, it is working.
Check it out.
I created a list of integers,
Mhm.
10, 20, 30,
Mhm.
and then I did like this.
It should not, because the cursor movement will not be happening there. It's a primitive, right? It's not referring to the value. Now, so look at the point. There are two different points you need to understand here. We are having integer as a class, integer data type. Integer data type is a primitive. And the same thing if you refer like a class, right? Probably if anybody knows C, C++, you might have heard like int. That is a data type. Integer is a class. Then you have a clear classification between data type and a class. But here, data type. Right. Here this is, we can simply say wrapper class. Okay. Now I'll discuss. So somebody has asked me a question. Let me not interrupt here. But remember, for every data type there is a class. There is a reason for saying this point. I'll come down now. This is loop is clear for everyone. This loop is clear for everyone. Everyone has followed this. What was that? We have a list of elements. We are taking one by one. Now let us go to the next example. Let us go to the next example. What was the next example? Now let us go to next example. Let me give you here. No. We have a list of accounts. We have a list of accounts. List of accounts. The name. Write a logic. Write a logic to fetch all the names of the account and put them in a separate list. What was that? We have a list of accounts with the name accounts. Write a logic to fetch all the names of the accounts and put them in a separate list. So what we have now? List of string. We have a list of string. Why we are doing a list of string? Because we want to put all the names in a separate list. And already they are told there is a list already existing with the accounts. So what I was supposed to do? For account A, what is the name of the list? Accounts. Then we have names dot add. What is the name? It is a list. In the list, what we are adding? A dot name. What is A? What is A? First account. That A will have name, phone, industry. A dot name is added to names. Names dot add A dot name. So what I am doing? I am taking the name of an account, putting them in the list of names. Did you get my point here? You get my point? I have list of accounts. I have taken one by one account, and that account name I have taken, and I kept that name in the list of names. Did you get my point? Am I clear? Am I clear? What are you doing in this case? What was that for loop is for? What that for loop is doing, boss? Right. Now, accounts is what? List of records. What is A? Referring to first record. A is moving. A first record. What is A dot name? The first account name. Okay. Is it a string or a string or not? Name will be a string. Now, what is these names? It is a list of name. It is a list. In the list, I can add what? String values. So names dot add A dot. Right? Okay. So let me go to the next one. We have a list of opportunities. Up list. Fetch all those opportunities whose stage name is We have a list of opportunities with the name called OptiList. We have a list of opportunity. The name of the list is OptiList. From the OptiList, take one by one record. Check whether stage name equal to closed one. If the stage name equal to closed one, put them in a separate list. Right. Write the logic for this. These are all small snippets. How did you do that? I require a new list. Why did I create a new list? I want to put all the records in a new list. Now, how do you write a for loop? For there, I told get me the account name. That's why I took list of thing. Here I told get me the opportunities. There I told get me the account names and put them in a list. Account name will be in string. Here I told get me all those opportunities whose stage name is closed one. So I am going to get what? Opportunity. That's why I have taken list of opportunity. OP. What I am going to do? If OP dot is the stage name equal to closed one? This is the formula. Are you getting my point? Right? We have a list of leads. Take every lead and create new contact for the lead based on and put them in a separate list. Now, what will be the fields common in lead and contact? First name. Use these fields. We have a list of leads with the name my leads. We have a list of leads with the name my leads. Take every lead and create new contact based on lead data. So for every lead record, whatever the data that is there in the lead, for that lead record, we are creating a contact. In the lead, if you have last name, first name, phone with the same data, create a contact, put them in a separate list. Take one by one lead. For every lead, create a contact record. For every lead, create a contact record. So what we are supposed to create? List of contacts equal to list of. So what I was supposed to do? Take one by one lead. Detail. How do you create? Contacts equal to last name, contact first name equal to lead first name, contact phone equal to lead. Then what we are supposed to do? Contacts dot add. So what did I do? Based on the data which is available in the lead, we are creating a new contact. For every lead, we are creating one contact. Lead last name equal to contact last name. Lead first name equal to contact first name. Lead phone number equal to contact phone number. Are you getting my point? So we are taking the data and creating a contact record. That contact I am adding to what? List of contacts. I hope you are good with this. Come again, Amma? Okay. Name of the list. I hope you are good. People have got the concept. Okay. Now let us take. Everybody is able to understand this. These are the common format of logics what we write in the programming. When you go to use cases, this is the common snippet what we'll be writing. The common examples. Okay. We have a list of accounts. If account rating is hot, then create a new opportunity. Do this. What I was trying to create? Opportunity. What was the logic here? Take one by one account. How do you take? Account A. Then what do you want to check? If rating is hot. If A dot rating equal to hot, then if rating equal to hot, then what happened? Then create new opportunity. Create new opportunity with the opportunity name. The opportunity name is account name. Then what should I do? Add it to. What was the logic? Take every account record, check whether rating equal to hot. If rating is hot, create a new opportunity. Create a new opportunity. Now you people keep practicing some snippets like this. At the end of the game, it's only the logic what will help you to build the use cases. Right. I hope you are good with this. Right, boss? People have followed this. Now, I'm making one more time very clear. I have posted some use cases in the Facebook community. Topic wise, the use cases are posted. Topic wise, use cases are posted. With my if you go to this basic level development tasks, there I have created a basic level use cases for practicing. Snippet writing practicing, I have given some use cases. So I given the task. So topic wise, I have created some examples. Practice this course array list of wrapper set. So practice these examples what I have given here. Topic wise, some exercises I have given. Go through this and complete this exercise. So I have given that to cover all type of snippet programming. Generally, what are the general way of snippets what we write? The snippets I have given. So just practice these use cases which I have given here topic wise. I have given those example topic wise. Topic wise I have given. Once you do this, then I have given advanced. There I have not mentioned the topic names. I simply give the use case. Now you need to identify how that use case should be implemented. The first sheet what I uploaded. There I told use array, use list, use sort. Here I told just use cases I have given. You need to understand which concept you have to use and implement those tasks. Right. We implement both of these, you'll be getting the knowledge of building the logics and the use cases. Do practice this exercise. I'm making one more time clear. If you simply practice